noticed what was the key to that? He seemed to have a lot of trouble passing you. How were you able to make life tough for him?
Say again, what was what?
He seemed to have a lot of trouble passing you.
Yeah.
What were you able to do to make that not so tough for him?
Well, I think approach well and try to cover the net very well and read where he's going to pass, because I've played him a couple times this year already, so I kind of know his pattern, so I try to read his positioning on the court, his footwork, and and I feel like if I get lucky in the beginning of a match and I get a couple like tough passing shots, and then he maybe starts feeling like the court becomes smaller and maybe he starts missing a few here or there, and then that's kind of my advantage.
Mischa, 14 months ago.
Yeah.
You remember?
I remember 14 months ago. Yeah, I remember when.
So it was the first tournament you told me you had won in 9 years.
You mean the Challenger?
Challenger.
Yeah,
right.
that was more than 4. That was maybe 16. 16 months ago. Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah.
And then you were saying, all your friends were saying, win or get out, and they were pushing you. You got to win one. What are these friends saying now?
They're saying I can still win some more matches. They're not satisfied yet. So, but no, I mean, I still have those friends, and they're still supporting me, and they're pushing me, and they say I can, still do better and improve. And I think I try to believe them sometimes, and it helps me.
I'm sorry to ask you this, but
Go 1, 2, 3, make it.
You made a second week of a slam earlier this year, but you ran into Murray and then Federer.
Yeah.
This time, you just beat the guy who was the highest ranked guy left in the bottom half of the draw in number 10. So how does this time feel different, and in terms of the mood of your part of the draw, or how you feel about your energy here?
Honestly, I don't look at the draw. I found out after my last match that I'm playing John today, so I try to not worry too much about my next opponent. I mean, until I face him. So. But you know what? Someone that's gonna be now in the quarters or semis, at the U.S. Open this year might be the next top 5 player. Again, 14 months from now or something. So ranking is something that's it says something about the opponent, but in the end, everybody's improving their game. There's new people coming, and the draw looks different now than Australia, and. But I'm not too worried because they're all tough opponents. They're all very good players. And, I played a great match today, but you never know what's going to happen 2 days from now.
We'll go in the back and we'll go way around. Go ahead.
Yeah, just playing off of that a little bit, it might be human nature to look at the draw and look at the players who aren't here and say, oh, this looks like opportunity for me to go even further. Do you have to really hold yourself back in looking at the draw and realizing that it's...
Yeah, I mean, but it's not math. 1 + 1 is 2, and 2 is smaller than 3. So in tennis, the draw is one thing, but I'm old enough to understand that I can win against 3 sets against John, who's the seeded number 10, but I barely won my first round. I was 2 sets to 1 down and a breakdown in the 4th. And the guy was ranked, I think, 600 in the world. So. I know that ranking and draw is sometimes irrelevant. It's not very important. What's important is who you're facing in the next round. So if especially newspapers or people from the outside, they'd be like, oh, you know what? Yeah, the draw is so open because so and so is not here. But all the other guys like Query, for example, who I'm playing next round, he had an unbelievable year. He won in Acapulco, beating Nadal in the final when Nadal was playing really, really well. He played really well in Wimbledon. He won Cabo. So looking at the last couple of months, he's maybe not ranked, let's say, top 10 in the world, but he's definitely someone who played really good tennis in the last couple of months. So again, draw is one thing, but then facing the next opponent could be, something very different.
You are a rare serve and volleyer. Did you choose the game, or did it choose you?
I think my baseline game was not good enough, so I had to choose plan B, which was serve and volleying to, try to be successful on the court. So, and my dad was a serve and volleyer too, so he was, very intelligent and smart as a coach because he recognized, okay, baseline is good, but I don't think you can, fulfill your potential by staying on the baseline, so let's try something else. And he taught me how to volley. He taught me how to come in, how to approach certain shots and analyze players and their passing patterns. And he was the one that taught me how to serve and volley and play well at the net. So I think it was a combination of just life happened, and luckily Dad recognized I was a better serve and volley and baseliner, and I said, okay, I agree.
Do you think your attacking game can work just as well against Query? And has John McEnroe ever talked to you? I mean, the lefty thing, and there's a lot of similarities there, style.
No, he hasn't really talked to me. He made a few comments in Australia after I beat Andy, and actually today earlier we were warming up, or I was warming up, he was practicing right next to each other, and he made a funny statement. He said, you make me feel a lot better about my short swing, because now I'm not the guy with the shortest takeback on tour. So, well, what can I say? It's effective, apparently. And but no, we haven't really talked about the game, but watching that generation play, because back then a lot more people were surfing volleying. It's a little bit of a different tennis game, because you really have to analyze how people position themselves on the court, and you can see where they're going to pass or try to pass. And playing Query next round, he is a little bit shorter than John. Maybe he moves a little bit quicker, and I think his backhand is pretty good. So he doesn't have like a weaker side, so which is going to be, I think, tougher for me, because I would have to really mix up my game and try to find a weaker spot.
What are your thoughts on how the health of players has affected this tournament and the draw, with all the withdrawals before the tournament even began, especially on your half of it?
Well, yeah, a lot of players are injured because many of them played really good tennis for so many years, and let's say almost every week they were the favorites to win the tournament. They went deep into the draw, and after a while, it's like a body can break down no matter how well you take care of it, how much you train, and it's just, I think it's human. So looking at Novak, he played unbelievable tennis in the last couple of years, and looking back maybe a couple of years ago, it was Rafa and Roger, when people were like, oh, maybe they're too old, or maybe they're not good enough or not strong enough, and they took some time off, they got healthy again, and now they're playing really good tennis. So maybe it's time for Novak and Andy to do something similar. You never know, because let's say I'm 30 years old, but I feel like I definitely have less mileage on my body than someone like Novak or Rafa. We're pretty much the same age, because they've played so many matches over the last 5 years, and I haven't been doing too well.
How did all of that, do you think, affect the opportunity that's here for you and everybody
in
your half of the draw?
Definitely, it's going to be, especially the bottom half is very open, I think, and you never know who will do well in a couple of days from now and be in the semis or finals. But I think it's definitely going to be different this year than maybe in the last couple of years.